What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. If you're here before, I'm Neon Mushroom. Today we play some standard Magic the Gathering Arena. This is it. Okay, so it's RCQ season. Today is Sunday, the weekend of the 19th, and this just yesterday I played an RCQ at one of my local shops, and I played this deck and went X2. Immediately played the two best players in the room, so I got knocked out. But this deck is really sweet, even though I X2'd with it. So I figured for today's video, I think it's either going to upload today or tomorrow, which is Monday. I'm going to have an upload schedule, which isn't something we've done on this channel up to this point. Very soon for you, it's going to coincide with me starting streaming tomorrow. So if you're watching this the day after and it's Monday, go check out the Twitch. It's in the description. I might be live right now. And if you see this in the near future, just go ahead and check out the channel Fluorescent Fungus, which I'm thinking about changing the name, but that's where I'm going to put the VOD dumps from my Twitch streams, and I might even edit them a little bit. We'll see what happens. But this, and I actually do need to fix my aspect ratio a little bit because we're not playing on Arena right now. There we go. This is the Dimir Midrange deck. This deck's getting its own deck tech, but if you're unfamiliar, I will quickly breeze through what the deck does. That way you can kind of follow along. We are playing solid threats and solid removal. That's the entire plan of the deck. That's why it's a mid-range deck. It definitely borrows from the tempo subgenre of Magic, where we've got a bunch of flash threats. We got a lot of things that tap our opponent's creatures, or like Tishana's Tidebinder is going to stop my opponent's creatures' abilities from triggering. And then we've got these curiosity effects. I'm doing a 3 Enduring Curiosity, 1 Gix split. That's just because I want a 3-drop with Curiosity on it in my curve, because in the red matchup, I want to be able to curve from a Gix into a Sheoldred game 1 sometimes. I'll usually cut the Gix game 2 because it causes you to lose life, unfortunately. But that's the deck. It's really cool. Soulstone Sanctuary is a notable upgrade that this deck has gotten to the mana base over the last couple weeks. It notably becomes a 3/3 creature with Vigilance that's all creature types. So it stacks very well with Kaito emblems, which is his minus, that's his +1 ability. He emblems for a +1. The sideboard's full of sideboard cards. We're going to play a Magic the Gathering Arena League, the traditional standard event, and let's get into round 1. All right, we found our opponent. We are on the draw, and this opener looks not great. If we're playing against like a red deck or any like to the board deck, maybe the Mirror, this could be okay-ish, but like anything else, like the Domain Rant deck is getting more popular again. We're just going to mulligan, try to find something better. This hand, also kind of doo-doo. We've got a 1-lander with a Siren. I think if this 1-lander was like a Darkslick Shores, I would almost think about it. Because, you know, the Spyglass Siren gives us a solid chance at finding our second land. Plus being on the draw, we get to see 2 cards before we need to find our second land. But the way that this hand's set up, we would need to not only find our second land, but it would really need to be a black source. And if we like whiff and hit a Restless Reef, I think our plan's so slow on the draw that it's just not good enough. So this is unfortunately... Start of the video, we're going to go 2-5. Okay, this is serviceable. Unfortunately, I think it's pitch land plus pitch one of our removal spells, and the land I think has to be Fountainport, so hopefully it's not insane in this matchup. As far as the removal spell goes, we'll pitch the Nowhere to run. I think the Go for the Throat's going to have more utility in most cases. Hopefully we don't just get run over by like Gruul prowess. Also, if you don't like all these artifacts that are happening to my body on screen because I'm using the fake green screen, I'm getting a real one soon. Once we start streaming, I really want to have one in the studio. Looks like we see a Seachrome Coast. This could be a couple of things. It could be the Omniscience combo deck that has kind of been getting popular. Could be the Oculus deck, and this could just be Esper Pixie. I'm pretty sure Esper Pixie is a tough matchup for us, though. That's another deck we'll be playing on the channel very shortly. Seachrome Coast in the Island. Are they playing some type of a control deck? Luckily, we're just drawing lands, so that's good. Moment of truth. So this is either going to be the Oculus deck or the Omniscience combo deck. Both those decks we really hope to have a much more aggressive start into. Audigen. Okay, it's Oculus, so at least our removal's turned on. Kiora the Rising Tide. This is a great time to jam this Faerie Mastermind. UW triggers when they draw their second card in a turn, which they are about to do. Let's undo this mulligan. All right, I'll draw an island. Okay, and a swamp. Deck, we're good on drawing lands for now. We'll play the Soulstone Sanctuary. I don't think we'll be activating it next turn, but like having it in play for a turn cycle so it like loses summoning sickness, kind of important. They're not even close to the threshold they need for Kiora, and that's an Abhorrent Oculus, so I'm going to hold off on Go for the Throat and the Kiora. Just get busy for 2 and pass. All right, they had the combat, sure. 3, no trigger, I'm fine with that. Take it, or end of their turn, I'm going to keep to the plan and keep playing creatures. How about a Faerie Mastermind? We are at the point, if they like don't have answers for our Masterminds, we can start to activate the Faerie Masterminds on their turn and just Ancestral Recall for 4 mana every turn, which is really good. I've managed to draw a land every turn. Yeah, I kept a 2-lander, so I draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lands off the top of my deck. This normally doesn't happen, but obviously when you sit down to record some content, the deck gets a little camera shy. Attack for 4, connect for 4, pass turn. Then I can Ancestral Recall into 3 more lands on your turn, opponent. Moment of Truth is fine. Here we're going to have to be really picky about how we use our mana. So if our opponent goes to reanimate the Oculus, there's going to be a really big gut reaction to just like kill the Oculus as fast as possible. I think it might be more correct to activate the Faerie Mastermind. Now, of course, this is barring them actually getting to Threshold for Kiora. Then we've got a whole nother problem, which is an 8/8 Octopus. However, I think we need to let the 8/8 Octopus happen in a weird twist of fate. We're so reduced on resources right now. You have the Helping Hand on the Oculus is fine. That doesn't give them any additional cards in the bin. Also, the Oculus is tapped, which is a huge deal. This is, if you're looking for a deck for this standard RCQ season, which we are in. I went to my first RCQ of the season, like I said yesterday. I think this is a great deck to start with. This deck does have its problems. Like right now, I think it's pretty poor into the blue-black, like Fear of Isolation version, the bouncy one, and then Esper Pixie. I think those are toughish matchups. Return target creature opponent controls to hand the gift was promised. Instead, return target non-land permanent to owner. Okay, you're just bouncing my Faerie Mastermind. Do I let you make an 8/8 and draw a bunch of cards and try to like draw into a bunch of Floodpits Drowners, and then just like clog the board up? I might. I don't think this one Go for the Throat's going to do it for us, so we're actually going to try to draw 3 cards here, see if they have another removal spell. All right, there's a Deep Cavern, trigger 2 Faerie Masterminds. Deep-Cavern Bat, congratulations on being our first non-land draw. All right, now it looks like we're done drawing lands, which is good. And then they'll attack for 3, make an 8/8, and then on my turn, the Oculus will trigger, they'll make a 2/2. If they can reanimate a Haughty Djinn, we might be dead anyway. I had to say it out loud. Oh, they're just casting Haughty Djinn. That's okay. Okay, so Oculus triggers. We're going to let that just happen. Now, we've got resources. Our biggest bottleneck here is honestly just our mana. What do we need to do to live? I think Faebloom Trick needs to be a part of it. We need to get more bodies in play. We actually might just need chump blockers. We also, I think, need to utilize Go for the Throat now. I don't think we have time to Deep-Cavern Bat. So we could try to push aggression and Go for the Throat the Haughty Djinn now, so they don't have a reduced, instant and sorcery cost on their turn thanks to the Haughty Djinn. And then we can hold up Faebloom Trick to stop ourselves from getting cracked in the face by the Oculus, and then use one of the 1/1s to just block the vanilla 8/8. I think that's where we need to be for now. So we're going to Go for the Throat, the Haughty Djinn. We're going to get busy. I'm actually not ever going to block with this Yuta until I absolutely have to. Then I don't want them to draw a No More Lies. Most versions of this deck won't play it, but in their upkeep is when I'm going to Faebloom Trick, and I just want to keep them off of flyers. If they counter this, we can concede and go to the next game. All right, it's a Phantom Interference. Thank you. Let's go to game 2. All right, here's what we're going to do. Unfortunately, unlike MTGO Arena, one of the downsides is it's harder to kind of highlight and make it obvious when I'm bringing in and out, but we're going to look at this right lane here. I'm going to cut 4 cutdowns. The notable thing that cutdown will hit is going to be Monastery Mentor, which they might bring in knowing that I'm going to try to hit their graveyard out a little bit, which I'm going to do. I'm bringing in Ghost Vacuums, but that has prowess. So cutdown's likely not going to be able to kill anything. Even Haughty Djinn, there's never a good window where Haughty Djinn is like a 1/4. And even if it is, they have to be completely tapped out for cutdown to do the thing I need it to. And then there's nowhere to run. X3s aren't what I'm worried about in this matchup, so I'm just fine cutting the nowhere to run. Cards I'm going to bring in, we have one main board Tishana's Tidebinder. We're going to bring in a second one. It's going to just stop the Oculus from doing Oculus things. In some cases, it might be able to like pin down Monastery Mentor, and it's just a nice tempo swing. We're going to bring in 2 Ghost Vacuums because obviously we want to hit the graveyard out, and we're also going to bring in 2 Duress. Duress is just going to be, especially on the play, if I can cut them off of a way to reanimate, that might slow them down enough. So let's submit this. We take play, we look at hand, it's double, swamp, Deep Cavern, bunch of blue cards we can't cast, mulligan to 6. This hand is fine. The tricky part is, what do we cut from the hand? It's probably supposed to be Tishana's Tidebinder. As nice as it is in this matchup, I think we just need to like lean on curving Faerie Mastermind into the Gix. If we can do that, we'll start to outdraw them very, very quickly. And then the Anoint with Affliction in a perfect world can like snipe out an Oculus or a Haughty Djinn at some point. I don't want to like lose a land. If I was on the draw, I might lose a land and just plan to draw a 3rd one. But being on the play, this entire plan hinges on making my 3rd land drop. So we'll put that on the bottom. Obviously, we really want to see Ghost Vacuum in our opener post board against this deck, but we can't just like mulligan to 4 for a Ghost Vacuum. They'll just like cast a Monastery Mentor and we'll lose on the spot. Opponent mulligan to 6 as well, which is always nice. They play an island, assuming they're holding up Opt or something, hopefully not into the Flood Mall. As far as drawing lands goes, this one's nice because now we don't have to take like 4 damage every time we want to like double spell or play a Gix or something. We'll just pass here. We could Faerie Mastermind now, but what we're going to do is wait till this point where they're opting. they might Phantom Interference the spells that we cast. We can't play around it all game, but whenever they tap out, we'll take that moment to just put like a creature into play. All right, Floodpits Verge. They could have a counterspell here, and see, now we're drawing too many lands. They could have a counterspell here, but if I don't do anything and just attack for 2 and they cast Moment of Truth, I haven't accomplished anything. I just want to play Gix here. They don't have a reanimate target in the graveyard, so if they have Phantom Interference or something, that just is the way it is. Now we go to combat. Highly likely they have a Get Lost, which hopefully they have to use on the Gix. Then we can like start to map our Faerie Mastermind as well. Just an opt. This could put them on Elspeth's Smite. Well, if they're going to smite, I'd rather them smite my Faerie Mastermind. They could also just into the Flood Maul my Gix, which is like a pretty good tempo play. We don't really want that to happen to us, but it's actually a little bit better than them just straight up killing it. They into the Flood Maul the Faerie Mastermind, which is really interesting. Tap land, sure. Meticulous Archive, please don't put Oculus into the bin. Nope, it's just a Seachrome Coast. All right, second game in a row, we've managed to draw land, which is not great. I think we do have to go to combat. I think we're also playing Underground River so we can double spell, just in case our opponent finds a way to reanimate. We could not attack here and try to play around Elspeth's Smite, which is a known card this deck plays. I think we might do that. We don't have really enough resources to like play the game off the back of just Faerie Mastermind. So I think, what's the downside? They cast Moment of Truth because they didn't remove my Gix. I think it's close. I think I'm going to be paranoid and not play into Elspeth's Smite. I'm just going to pass. Okay, it's a Get Lost. 6 to 1, half a dozen the other. Now we're going to try to start mapping this Faerie Mastermind. Unfortunately, being an X1, even if both maps succeed at growing the Faerie Mastermind, we won't be able to get it out of the range of Elspeth's Smite, which they very well could have here. All right, they're using a Picklock Prankster, which is fine. And they did bring in the Mentors from the sideboard. So there's a Mentor in the bin and a Haughty Djinn as well. So we would just love to draw a Ghost Vacuum at any point, but they took into the Flood Maul, recommission the Mentor. This is fine. Now we're going to Anoint with Affliction, the Mentor, and then we'll play our Faerie Mastermind. And now that they're tapped out, we can map our Mastermind. We have drawn every turn a land. At least I have proof that this stuff happens to me when I turn the camera on. Deep-Cavern Bat's cool. However, I don't think it lines up well into what's going on here. So we're going to ship the Deep-Cavern Bat. And then we're just going to map the Faerie Mastermind again. Spyglass Siren. Nope, I think we're kind of just looking for like some haymakers. So we'll do that. We'll put the Reef in play tapped. We'll get in for 4. And hope they don't just randomly have another reanimate spell. Also, if we get to the point where we can start attacking with Restless Reef, we have to mill ourselves, because milling them is going to be like a losing battle. Moment of Truth could get them, hopefully not a Helping Hand, or a Recommission. Have they just used the 1 Recommission? That means they have at least 4 Helping Hands to go, and they just binned another into the Flood Maul, it looks like. Sure. Oh, look at that. Is that another land? Let's go Island. I think we might be on activating Faerie Mastermind's ability. I don't love that I'm playing directly into an Elspeth's Smite here, but I think I have to now. All right, it's just into the Flood Maul. That's okay. Now we will pass. Opt, sure. 1 bottom, 0 top, 1 bottom, 0 top, 1 bottom, 0 top, please. Nope, they scried to the top. That's gotta be a reanimate spell, right? Or maybe just like hard cast Oculus. Prankster is fine. Pass to me. Some type of interactive spell, maybe. We're gonna Yuta and we're just gonna activate it. If they have like a Get Lost, that's just like, we gotta get them to play them anyway. Activate Faerie Mastermind. Soul Partition, that's actually fine. All right, there's another land and a Go for the Throat. Let's go Gloomlake Verge. They're tapped down to 1, so I'm actually comfortable just hard casting this Faerie Mastermind while they don't have mana up for any type of interaction. And pass. An Opt in their main phase while I have a Yuta in play seems fine. We love that. Okay, I'll draw a card. Another land, please. Come on, right off the top. Oops, Spell Stutter, actually not bad. With Faerie Mastermind in play, it's actually a mana leak, which seems great. We are not going to interact with this Picklock Prankster ever. We'll just let it keep poking us. Pass to me, I untap and draw. Ooh, another land. We'll play Gloomlake Verge. Let's see. If we activate Restless Reef and attack, we can't hold up Go for the Throat and Spell Stutter. That doesn't mean it's not time. I do have 4 mana, so I can actually double activate Yuta if I need to. We're just going to pass. We're going to Helping Hand Haughty Djinn. This will resolve. A 13-4 is problematic, but we have removal for it. All right, I'm not going to interact with that Picklock Prankster still. Eventually, we'll just play something it can't block. So now we're going to Go for the Throat the Haughty Djinn to see if we can bait out some type of an interactive spell, which will be 1 cheaper thanks to the Djinn. They don't have that. Now we're going to activate Faerie Mastermind as well. I don't mind giving them cards if I get more than they do. Yep, Soul Partition's fine. We love them using Soul Partition on the same Faerie Mastermind over and over. That's great. All right, there's a Ghost Vacuum. That should be really good. We've got enough, and an Enduring Curiosity. Thank you, deck. We've got enough mana now where like this Ghost Vacuum actually might get out of hand. Like we might just like take 2 or 3 turns to exile a bunch of stuff from the graveyard, and then just activate the Ghost Vacuum. We do have enough mana to Yuta plus Enduring Curiosity on opponent's turn, so we're just going to pass here. Now let's see what targets they have so far. Haughty Djinn, and is it just Haughty Djinn and it's just Haughty Djinn. Okay, well that makes me feel safe. Charter Course, seems like I should Faerie Mastermind in response to that. Do you have a third Soul Partition? They don't, so we get a card draw, Faerie Mastermind. Now we're starting to feel a little bit better. The flood was brutal, but now that we have this much mana, we're kind of happy about it because our Faerie Mastermind's activated ability just keeps grinding. All right, Yuta, draw me a card. Floodpits Drowner is great here. We can open up that Picklock Prankster without like using an actual removal spell on it now, which is exactly how we want to get around the Picklock Prankster itself. All right, we'll take one. They're looking at the graveyard. Are they going to try to reanimate now, or do they have an Oculus? They have an Abhorrent Oculus. I would like to Spell Stutter, counter unless you pay 3. I still have a Fairy. The reason we're playing Spell Stutter instead of Phantom Interference is because we also have one main, one sideboard, the Trick card, the 3 mana. Can't think of the name of it right now. Make 2 fairies, tap a thing. It makes the Spell Stutter work a lot like Counterspell when you have multiple fairies in play. We'll take the Abhorrent Oculus out of your graveyard, and then will I Drowner now? I will. Then we'll play Floodpits Drowner. If you have Interference, we just don't care. All right, Interference is fine. That's countered. We'll take an on-tap, a draw. Spyglass Siren's pretty neat here for a bunch of reasons. The main reason is we can make Faerie Mastermind into a 3/2 if we're really lucky. So let's map the Faerie Mastermind. No more lands, please. Thank you. Sheoldred's perfect. Now we can get busy for 3. They can just block it, which if they do, that's fine. If they don't, we're gonna draw that Sheoldred right now with this Enduring Curiosity. Okay, you go to 13, and they concede. Perfect. Okay, game 3. Faebloom Trick, that's the name of the card I was thinking of. I don't think I'll be making any changes going into game 3. We're just gonna resubmit this same 60. Okay, we're back for game 3. Opponent spent the entire 2 minutes of allotted time sideboarding. So either they're tilted or they have like a drastically different plan going into game 3 than they did for 2. This hand is not particularly aggressive. However, we have some really cool action here. Spell Stutter, not as good on the draw against their reanimate spells, but we've got Go for the Throat to try to back us up on that one. Deep-Cavern Bat's also fine here. Our best top deck by a mile is Ghost Vacuum, and then right after that is probably like any 1-drop creature, specifically the Spyglass Siren. I'll also take a Duress, but this seems okay. Hopefully we don't, for the 3rd game in a row, top deck 5 lands before seeing a single spell. But I think we're supposed to keep hands that look like this. Opponent goes to 6, which is great when they're on the play. Island, no main phase opt. All right, another Spell Stutter isn't quite what we wanted, but since they didn't have a turn 1 play, I feel less bad. Like something they could have done was Meticulous Archive and just get really lucky and directly bin an Oculus, then turn 2 Oculus us. That would be problematic. But this turn they have really no way of reanimating, which means these Spell Stutters are super live. And we drew the Ghost Vacuum. We're not going to play it right now because it gets countered. We'll wait till we have 3 mana so we can fight the fight. For now, we'll just hold up the Spell Stutter, and the Picklock Prankster might be worth picking a fight over as well. If they go Haughty Djinn, let's say we Spell Stutter the Picklock Prankster, their best play is either Haughty Djinn or Monastery Mentor, and we follow up with Go for the Throat Ghost Vacuum. I do not want them to have a huge graveyard. I guess if they have a huge graveyard, they can just like hardcast Oculus and then I Go for the Throat it, and that's not a huge deal. That said, no, I think I just want to convert my Stutter here. It's close, I think. I just don't want to, there's a few things that opens up, even if they miss, if they get 4 cards in their graveyard, it opens up a couple things. Like what would be awful, a huge blowout, is 2nd White Source, double Helping Hand. That would actually come pretty close to killing us on the spot. And they play a tap land, meaning we're not going to see a Monastery Mentor, we're not going to see a Haughty Djinn. They didn't bin anything yet, so this should be a pretty safe Gloomlake Verge Ghost Vacuum. I think this game we have managed to not draw a single land, which is fine. We can actually never draw another land for the rest of the game, and I'd be fine with that. They go Negate the Ghost Vacuum. I'm happy to Spell Stutter the Negate here. No thanks, dude. I insist. Tap land. Please put something juicy in the bin. I think I might try to win with this Ghost Vacuum. Your creatures are so much better than mine, on average. They leave it on top. Then they play Moment of Truth, which is just fine. They put a Seachrome Coast into the bin. Anything for 1 mana here? They pass. We're going to Ghost Vacuum something. I don't think it matters. We should just make sure we hit a spell. You know what? We'll get Picklock Prankster here, just so there's like an extra 1/1 flyer if we wind up activating this Ghost Vacuum later in the game. Now we're kind of opened up to double spell, so we'll play Deep-Cavern Bat to start and figure out exactly what our opponent's holding. All right, we've got Moment of Truth, Helping Hand, Picklock Prankster. We don't care about the Helping Hand at all. Moment of Truth is like, meh, we're just going to take the Prankster. Then we're not going to interact with either of those spells because we have this Ghost Vacuum up. So we'll actually play the Spyglass Siren here and map it just right away. Obviously, the big blowout here is if they draw the Oculus. They will get to manifest Dread once before we go for the Throat It, but I think that's fine. So we get a land off of our map. No need to do anything else. We'll just pass. Now our best draw by so much is either Gix or Enduring Curiosity. The second we draw that card, we just win immediately. Moment of Truth is fine. Helping Hand is going to rot in your hand until you can deal with my Ghost Vacuum. If they find a 3-drop creature to play, we want it to be Haughty Djinn or Monastery Mentor. We'd really prefer it to not be a Born Oculus. It's a Mentor, perfect, amazing, incredible. They pass, we're going to activate Ghost Vacuum, we're going to take out any spell, let's say Negate. On tap, draw, a second go for the Throat's totally fine. We'll use the first one, just pop this Mentor before they can start to go off with it. Then we're going to begin our 10-turn clock of attacking for 2, and pass. They just have a land. So they have to pass here. We can take out their creature. Goodbye, Mentor. I'll go. I'm just going to hold this Floodpits Drowner for as long as I can. Kaito's a great top deck here. We'll go to combat, attack for 2. Ninjutsu in the Kaito. Returning Spyglass Siren. We'll still hold up the Go for the Throat. We're not going to redeploy the Siren. Well, we might. We're gonna do nothing because our opponent concedes. Great. We start the league off with a victory, which you love to see. Let's get into round number 2. All right, found round 2 opponent. We're on the play. We're going to take it. This hand has perfect mana, 3 Floodpits Drowners, and 2 removal spells. We are going to try to cast 3 Floodpits Drowners, kill their threats, and put them on like a, what is this, like a 5-turn clock? No, 4. 5 if you count the fact that it's not going to be in play until turn 2. There's like a turn in a vacuum, 6 or 7 kill. Yeah, we'll keep this. This is fine. We'll lead on the swamp because Gloomlake does not make black mana on turn 1. And if this cutdown's good, we want to use it. Hello. Storm Chaser's talent, gladly. I will gladly cut down an Otter. That's dead. On tap and draw. We will play Darkslick Shores and pass. That's a Botanical Sanctum, so this could either be the Otters combo deck or the Crab deck, which you've seen me play, and I'll play again soon. For Standard, we're probably going to keep it to, so I can start talking a little bit about the schedule that we're going to have on this channel. It's not going to be, I don't have it in stone yet, but I've got a pretty good idea of what I want to do. And today's Sunday, even though this video may not come out till Monday, I think I'm probably going to start doing standard content, like every Sunday, a piece of standard material is going to come out. We're going to Floodpits Downer here. I don't know if they have anything for it, and I don't care. If they unsummon it, we don't care. But so Sunday, we'll probably do a standard like league video like this. And then over on the other channel, Fluorescent, we're probably going to do a standard stream either once or twice a week. And those stream VOD re-uploads will go on to the second channel. So if you are enjoying the standard content, that's where you want to go. So you have 3 pieces of standard content for me a week until standard RCQ season ends. Then I'll swing a little bit heavier into the RCQ season format, which will be modern in that case. They unsummon the Floodpits Drowner, which is fine. We'll just pass. That seems like a misplay, but it's not. They want to get a critical mass in the graveyard for cards like Tolarian Terror. This town ain't big enough is a card that we're worried about. We will be bringing in Ghost Vacuum in this matchup. The game 1 in this matchup is actually pretty bad for us. They're going to main phase opt, so we're going to Faerie Mastermind. I'll just get an extra card. We're super interested in making our 4th land drop here so we can start double spelling. Spell Stutter's fine. Faebloom Trick is also fine. We would have loved a land drop, but these cards are all great. We'll just pass. Oh, also, I don't know if I can't remember how am I recording here. I don't think I'm currently set up to record the arena audio. Do you guys, I don't record the audio for MTGO because it's kind of bad. But do you guys like the sound effects and stuff in arena? Or would you prefer me to continue doing this, which is just like, not that, like exactly not that. I usually put like some quiet music in the background when I edit these videos, and then just like cut out most of the dead air and any like, I stutter a lot. I try to cut most of that out. But I think these sounds in arena, they're kind of nice. Maybe some people like them, who knows? Let's go to combat. I'm expecting an Eddie Merc Crab here, which we will actually not Spell Stutter. I just lied through my teeth. We're going to let that resolve. We're going to let you tap 2 creatures, and then I'm going to go for the Threat Your Eddie Merc Crab. We'll attack. All right, they're doing the white splash, meaning there's Shelter by Ghost and Monastery Mentor in their sideboard. I have a ton of experience with this deck. It's very good. I wonder if they're gonna use Storm Chaser's talent here. Buy back like Opt or something? Seems bad. I really want them to cast a Beanstalk so my Faerie Mastermind finds me land number 4. Into the Flood Maul, a 1/1 resolves. Sleight of Hand, sure. So with the Sleight of Hand, they're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, meaning that their Terrors and Crabs are 2 drops now. If I can find my 4th land, that these Drowners can also just take out their threats. All right, we found land 4, which is great. We're gonna go to combat. If they have an Eddie Merc Crab, we'll actually counter that one. All right, there's the Merc. No, thank you. And we'll get busy for 3 and pass. All right, they're casting a Terror. That's fine. Bushwhack, Sheltered by Ghosts. Okay, we're gonna have to find something good here. I think we need to find the enchantment, Nowhere to Hide, Nowhere to Run. That card is gonna be very good against this deck just because like it ignores Ward. Now, of course, we can't anoint it, but we can always just Floodpits Drowner, ignore the ward triggers, and then exile it and get our Faerie Mastermind back. But for now, we're actually kind of in a tough spot. They're going to start getting a ton of life. We're going to go Enduring, we're going to attack, and we're going to draw a card. We need to draw into a way to beat this Tolarian Terror, which we do not currently have. Now on the flip side, if they start freely attacking with it, they will gain life, but they're going to give us infinite card draw. And that all goes down the drain if they just find this town ain't big enough. Or a second Shelter by Ghosts. It's just a bushwhack, so we are going to get our Enduring Curiosity back in the form of a enchantment. They attack for 6, huge 12-point life swing. Do they activate here and grab bushwhack maybe? Or do they just want a cantrip? Notably, drawing a 6th land here lets me pay for the ward triggers with a Floodpits Drowner, which might be enough, but they're taking bushwhack, so even if we find the land, which we don't, we would have to let them attack us first so they couldn't bushwhack our Floodpits Drowner. Let's go to combat and attack for 1. Trigger the Enduring Curiosity, draw a card. I think since they have bushwhack, that's our play. We're actually going to pass here. I don't think this is a good play, but I think it's the play we have access to. I wonder if they will bushwhack our 1/1. That would be an interesting play here. So we're going to go down to 8. They're going to go up to 30. But this deck really doesn't care about its opponent's life total, except outside of its like fastest hands. Because once we start taking over the game, we don't just take it over by like racing, we just absolutely drown them. Overlord of the Floodpits is like, fine. Yeah, you draw 2, discard 1. This is a card not typically played in this deck, so that's interesting. They play an untapped green source. Do you have Analyze the Pollen? That would be very bad for me if you did. All right, we're gonna go Floodpits Drowner. We're gonna target here. Yeah, I'm sure. I know, Arena, it's a bad idea, but I have to do what I have to do. All right, resolve, autopay, you stay tapped. We'll play another land. We are going to activate Floodpits Drowner and hit the Tolarian Terror, and that's going to cost us another 6 mana, which we will happily pay. Goodbye. And this means I get Faerie Mastermind back. I can't attack through that Overlord of the Floodpits, but what I can do is just like hold back a blocker, let them draw some cards, trigger Yuta, and then use a second Floodpits Drowner to try to deal with it. I really can't afford to go to 3 life. The really nice number to be at in this matchup is 6, because it's harder for them to kill you if you have like anything higher than 5, which is the base power of most of their attackers. They're gonna bushwhack my Yuta, which is like makes sense because they're about to draw 2, discard 1. Do you have another? No, you've got an on summon. Sure. So you're gonna connect. I can't do anything about that. They draw 2. What do they pitch? Looks like just a hedge maze. We go to 3. They play a Tolarian Terror. That is going to be a problem. Do you have another creature? They must have an Analyze. Yep, Analyze the Pollen. Go get... I wouldn't even get a Terror if I were them. I'd probably get an Eddie Merc Crab and hold it up. Plays around the most things. That's what they did. Perfect. Very smart opponent. Okay, we're not... Are we actually just dead here? Let's see. The best play we have access to. Drowner the Overlord. We're not doing anything on our turn. We have to Drowner the Overlord on their turn, and then Drowner the Tolarian Terror and pay for it. So we're playing this Darkslick Shores. And then... It's going to depend on whether or not they flash in this Eddie Merc Crab, but I think we can live for 1 turn cycle. All right, there's Eddie Merc Crab, which will set a stop in their upkeep. That resolves, and then we'll go to your upkeep, and I will Floodpits Drowner, and this one will tap down Overlord of the Floodpits, and then we will Floodpits Drowner, and this one will tap down Eddie Merc Crab, I think, and then continue. We're probably very dead here, but I'm going to make him play the whole game out. Sleight of hand's fine. If they ever show me a this town ain't big enough, we will just concede. Storm Chaser's Talent is fine. We can cut down that token, which is great. We want cut downs and Anoint with Afflictions out of our deck though. We're happy to convert them game 1, but they're just not very good in the matchup. You activate Storm Chaser's Talent, that's also fine. What do you get? Bushwhack, just to make sure you can kill me next turn? Yep, there it is, to get Bushwhack. They're supposed to attack for 5, and we have to block, so we will. And then they go to pass to us. We will cut down the 1/1. Then we will untap and draw. A land is not ideal here. We have to get busy. We need Enduring Curiosity to do some work here. We draw Kaito. Kaito actually isn't bad. We'll go Darkslick Shores tapped. We'll just straight up play Kaito Shizuki. Kaito Bane of Nightmares. And we will minus the Kaito, targeting Tolarian Terror. And we will gladly pay the ward cost. Then we're going to activate Floodpits Drowner, and we are going to tuck the Overlord of the Floodpits. All right, you're up, opponent. That means that the bushwhack they just grabbed isn't very good. Conversely, the Anoint with Affliction in our hand, also not very good. They might even activate their Storm Chaser's Talent just to start going wide, which they do. Level 3 on Storm Chaser's Talent. Got it. Okay, this one's a thinker. Okay, it's not that big a thinker. We're just going to attack, connect with them. We'll draw a card off Enduring Curiosity. It's another land, which isn't great. Tapping that Eddie Merc Crab is just going to kill our Kaito. We can't afford to do that. Even though it saves us for a turn, it doesn't give us any real game plan. We put Cut Down on the bottom. Do we keep Spyglass Siren? That way we can play Siren. They fight the Siren, we activate Fountainport, lose a life, make a dude block, and have another turn with Kaito. I think so. Okay, we have to do that. So we'll do it that way. We'll also map immediately onto the Kaito. Siren makes map onto Kaito. What's up there? Just the Soulstone Sanctuary also isn't bad. I wish I had a Kaito emblem going, but I just don't. We will pass. Something they could do is activate their second Storm Chasers talent. That way when they cast Bushwhack, they make 2 otters. That very likely is not something we can dig out of. They don't do that though, so that's fine. This resolves. They go to combat. Let's see if they have an on-summon. Activate Fountainport. And I think we're going to do it like this. Do you have on-summon? They have this town ain't big enough. We're super dead here. Okay, got it. Game 2. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring in 2 Ghost Vacuums. There's still a Storm Chasers talent deck, and their creatures. If we have a Ghost Vacuum early, we can make it so they can never cast their giant creatures, which means they're going to be bringing in Monastery Mentors. We're going to bring in 1 additional Faebloom Trick, 1/1 flyers, for like out of 1 card to get 2 of them. Makes their on-summons a little bit trickier for them to be very good for them. So we just want access to the Faebloom Trick. We're going to bring in our Preacher of the Schism, typically for red matchups, but like this creature just trades with giant creatures. An additional Sheoldred, because they are an Up the Beanstalk deck, and we're simply going to cut 4 Cut Down and an Anoint with Affliction, because they don't really target anything but otters, and that's not the fight we want to fight. Okay, we be on the play. This hand has 1 land, no colored sources, so we're mulligan. This hand is solid. We are going to keep all 3 lands because we want to curve all the way out. I think we're actually shipping Spell Stutter. I think we just want to go Bat, Preacher, Sheoldred, and try to make that what the game's about. So we're going to ship the Spell Stutter and open on Restless Reef. Hello. Tap land. Meticulous Archive, leave it on top. Meticulous Archive is definitely an interesting one on that deck. Normally, if you're playing Surveillance, it's just Hedge Maze. We're going to Deep-Cavern Bat our opponent. We see a bunch of giant creatures. Insidious Fungus, which is 2 mana, sacrifice it to destroy an artifact, destroy an enchantment, or draw a card, then put a land into play. Sure. And Bushwhack. Well, this thing doesn't fight, but it does take care of my Ghost Vacuum, which I currently don't have access to. Actually, I can kind of just ignore this Insidious Fungus. We're just going to take the Bushwhack. That's going to mean all 3 of these creatures, they have to draw like Cash Grab or Seed of Hope right now, just to start doing anything. Botanical Sanctum into Up the Beanstalk. Pretty good top deck opponent. Found my Ghost Vacuum. I'm not going to play it yet because Insidious Fungus is going to be a pain in my ass. We're just going to get busy for 1 and play Preacher of the Schism. And hopefully find a land, because this Sheoldred is going to be really good against Up the Beanstalk. They go Island, please don't Cash Grab. Then that's how we lose this game. Our Insidious Fungus is fine. Looks like they're just passing. Hooray, I should have specified on tap land, huh? We'll go to combat. We're happy to draw a card off of the Preacher unless they have like on summon or something, which if they had it, they should have done it there. So we'll draw this card. Floodpits Drowner is fine. Would you like to block? They would. Interesting. They must just want to activate to, draw a card, then ramp a little bit, which is great for us because this lets us put the Ghost Vacuum into play. Tap land, go to damage, take 1, play Darkslick Shores. Here is my Ghost Vacuum. Ghost Vacuum doesn't need to be activated right now because they have no instants or sorceries in their graveyard. Sleight of Hand's fine. Sleight of Hand in the bin is going to make their 7 drops into 6 drops, meaning they can't cast them. But if they put a second instant or sorcery on the stack, we will just exile the Sleight of Hand in response. There's a Sleight of Hand. We are going to use this to eat Sleight of Hand. And then you can resolve your Sleight of Hand. End of turn, we're just going to Faebloom Trick and start turning sideways. Ooh, they find Terrace Under, so we got to get busy now. We're actually going to jam the Floodpits Drowner is just an attacker. They have 1, 2, so that means all their creatures cost 5. Yeah, it's time to start getting busy. Here's my Drowner. If you have an unsummon, go for it. I don't care. All right, we have a Sheoldred. We're not going to play it yet. We're actually going to get busy. I suspect they have an unsummon, and I'd like them to use it on one of my creatures to try to stay alive a little bit longer. Okay, take a bunch. Now that we've drawn Floodpits Drowner, I'm not even going to deploy Sheoldred. I'm just going to hold up putting 4 power into play at their end step. Opt is fine. So now everything's a 4-drop. Tap Botanical Sanctum. Pass to me, holding up Eddie Mert Crab is probably the correct play. They go Storm Chaser's Talent. This does not let you Eddie Mert Crab. I, however, am totally fine with it. If you activate it, what do you buy back? Terrace Under? Looks like they're splashing black and white, which is greedy and probably way too much. Let's go Floodpits Drowner. Am I missing something? These are 7. Oh, they're 4 drops, so they can still cast 1, I see. Then we'll cast Faebloom Trick. We know they just want to Eddie Mert Crab us, so before we even go into combat, we're just going to Sheoldred. Then they're going to Eddie Mert Crab in response to not take 2 off the initial draw, and we'll be able to attack with whatever they didn't tap. So here is my Sheoldred. Cast your crab now. That way you can draw a card off the beanstalk without taking 2. Yep, draw 1. That's fine. Tap Preacher plus, I don't know, Floodpits Drowner is the maximum. Nope, you're going to tap Deep-Cavern for some reason. Sure, get busy for 6 and play another Restless Reef. I'm hellbent, opponent. Good luck. Bushwhack, obviously nightmarish here. All right, they attack for 5. I'm good. I'll take it. Do you have like Sunfall? All right, they have the Bushwhack, which is a trade, so that's a-okay. Then they probably just deploy. You're just dead still, right? How much do these cost? 1, 2, 3, 4. They're 3 drops. I guess you can cast 2 Tolarian Terrors. Are you still dead through that? Block 4, 4, block 2, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, you're still dead through that because we're going to activate our Restless Reef, obviously. Now, if they got really lucky and drew a Sheltered by Ghosts, that would be tough for us. All right, looks like they didn't. I don't know what this face down card is, but we have to go for it here. Activate Reef. This town ain't big enough. Preacher and Storm Chaser's talent, that's fine. What are you hoping to draw? An unsummon? Did you just draw an unsummon? I'm attacking with everything. I will mill myself. Your graveyard's big enough. All right, they concede. Great, we got a game 3. All right, going into game 3, I'm not really interested in any changes. Spell Stutter is even worse, but like there's nothing we want more than Spell Stutter. I could see potentially Gix's Command not being the worst thing ever, but even then, Gix's Command as a 5 mana exile your biggest thing just isn't that great. Maybe, you know what? I talked myself into it. The first Gix's Command is probably actually better than the second Spell Stutter. All right, let's go. I don't love the effect. It's just like not that strong because 5 mana for it, remove 1 thing isn't very good. But when their creatures have like ward and stuff, sometimes it's fine. Also, sometimes they'll just like tap out to put a Monastery Mentor into play and maybe we can like 2-for-1 them in that case. Okay, no notes. This hand's fine. I wish this Risen Reef was like a Gloomlake Verge, but outside of that, this hand's great. Hello, hello. Oh, we drew our Ghost Vacuum. We're not going to play that out right away. I think that would be a mistake. Instead, we're just going to go Underground River into Spyglass Siren. Another route we could have taken was Risen Reef into Double Spell, but with no cards in their graveyard, I know they have Terra Sunder, potentially Paw Patch Formation. I'm just going to slow roll my Ghost Vacuum a little bit. It's up for a blue to play Haywire Might. There's another thing that can beat up my Ghost Vacuum. All right, we'll draw. Gix is awesome here. Do we want to play that next turn? I kind of think we might. We're going to actually map our Spyglass Siren. We'll take a turn off of Deep-Cavern Bat. If they want to unsummon this, beautiful. We don't want the Faerie Mastermind. We'll put into play tapped a Restless Reef and get busy for 2. If you want to unsummon it, be my guest. Yeah, that's totally fine. I love that exchange. Next turn, we'll go... there's a couple things we could do. I think we need to get Haywire Might out of play. So we might just go Nowhere to Run, exile an instant or sorcery from the graveyard. Okay, they attack and pass to us, assumedly. Yep. We'll go land. There are so many ways we can play this turn out. I really need to think about what the right one is. Do we want to extend? How much do things cost? 5? So if they have a Dream Cache, that's pretty brutal for us. Or a Cash Grab, rather. Move myself over a little bit so you can see my hand better. I think... yeah, I like getting Nowhere to Run into play, so I'm going to start with that. Because that's going to turn all my Go for the Throats into it kills everything regardless. Because we're going to ignore ward triggers. Conversely, they can do this, which is Haywire Might, the Nowhere to Run. We're fine with that because now they can't have Negate up for this Ghost Vacuum, which we are going to put into play and tap immediately. Tap it. We want to get, let's say, Seed of Hope out of... nope, let's get Unsummon first out of your graveyard. You're up, opponent. They find an opt, sure. That means that currently their crabs are going to cost... their crabs and serpents will cost 5, which they can't do yet, which is great for us. Please don't play Monastery Mentor. I am not prepared to fight that card right now. They find Terra Sunder, which is to be expected. Of course, they're going to have ways to fight our ways to fight them. We're going to go Deep-Cavern Bat now. We would like to take a peek at their hand, see what they got going. Hopefully take out some key piece, play Spyglass Siren, and then follow it up with Gix. All right, Seed of Hope is going to grab Storm Chaser's talent, I guess, which is probably what we take with Deep-Cavern Bat. Oh no, they take a land. Okay. We see Terra Sunder, Overlord, and Terror. How much does Terror cost right now? We got 1, 2, 3, 4. So Terror is a 3-drop. However, our threats are all in the air, so we need to take Overlord of the Floodpits. Then we'll play Spyglass Siren, and we will pass the turn. Finding our 4th land there would have been good, but we can't have it all. All right, tap land Terror. I know your Terror costs 3. I'm paying attention. All right, tap land Terror. Beautiful. Pass to me. Here is my Gix. I would now like to start drawing so many cards. Trigger Gix twice. I will gladly pay the price of blood. To draw 2 tap lands, not the greatest, but I'm just happy to make land drops here. They got to be careful about just attacking with Terror. Beanstalk draws a card, sure, but if they just start attacking with Terror, like I'll take the first one, Then I'll start swinging back, and I've got cards like Faebloom Trick to just chump block the Tolarian Terror. Bushwhack, not great for us. Now our ability to draw a billion cards is gone. We do, however, have Go for the Throat, which we might just, like, play on their Terror. Enduring Curiosity also good, not great into their Terror Asunder, notably. I think we'll just take this turn to get their threat out of play. Pay 2, ward triggers. I will pay the ward trigger. Do you have an unsummon? Because that's okay with me. You have an Into the Flood Maw on my Deep-Cavern Bat. Okay, that's okay because I can actually target their Overlord of the Flood Pits way easier than I can target their Tolarian Terror. Also, they need a land. They have another Terror, which is not great for us because their Beanstalk is going now. So we need to actually get onto the board really hard here. If we draw land, we're going to go Deep-Cavern Bat, take Terror Asunder into Enduring Curiosity, and try to bury them before they can get enough cards to retaliate. All right, luckily, Overlord of the Flood Pits, not a creature here. So that is cool with us. So we've got like 4 turns before that becomes a blocker, and we are concerned with blockers. Loses a counter, pass to me. I have another Go for the Throat. There's a few ways I could actually do this. I think we have to let go of playing the Curiosity this turn and Deep-Cavern Bat our opponent. Hopefully they don't have anything better than that Terror Asunder. They kind of do. They have multiple things better than Terror Asunder. Time to panic. This game is starting to go very south. We can just go for the Throat and Eddy Mert Crab. We actually need to take this town ain't big enough. Then we need to get busy for 1 in the air. Or are we blocking? We might just be blocking. If we're blocking, we'll do it with a Faebloom Trick token, I guess. We'll attack for 1. We're not going to ninjutsu and Kaito. It's just sending Kaito on a suicide mission, which isn't very good. And then here, I wonder what they're the most likely to do. There's one thing I wish didn't happen this game. It was the Up the Beanstalk. Up the Beanstalk is what makes our opponent's deck really good. Normally, what they're doing just isn't that impressive. They just kind of have like a bunch of cards, and you run them out of those cards because they cast a bunch of 5/5s and all that, but eventually they just literally run out of cards and you overrun them. Up the Beanstalk, you see it here with this town ain't big enough, is going to make sure that most of their cards replace themselves, making it just super difficult for us to maintain an advantage. Now, this town ain't big enough, drawing their second copy, very lucky for our opponent. That was right off the top. We're going to go Faebloom Trick. I just want to block, and now I'm trying to buy time. I need to find a way to like get so onto the board that you can't race me, which isn't horribly likely, but we're going to try. They could also Eddy Mert Crab here to like force the damage through, but they don't. Probably because they're a little greedy and they really want to get that Beanstalk in play. If I were piloting my opponent's deck, I would have Eddy Mert Crabbed here, tap down my 2 blockers, bring me to 7, and then have this town ain't big enough in 5 mana, and just like Alpha Strike me the following turn, barring me having exactly Negate. They draw a card off Beanstalk. Do you have an untapped land, sir? Just a sleight of hand, sure, that's fine. There's an untapped land, we care less about that one. Do you have anything else? No? Cool, good. Untapped land, great. How do we want to do this? Like this, we'll go Deep-Cavern Bat. We're going to take a peek. What's your unknown card? We've got an Eddy Mert Crab. Opt looks like it was the unknown card. This town ain't big enough, Terror Asunder. This one's a little tricky. I think now I need access to my Enduring Curiosity. Our only out here, we likely lose this game, but our only out is to start to bury our opponent in cards. So we're actually going to take, if we take the Terror Asunder, they just this town, the Deep-Cavern Bat, and Terror Asunder our Enduring Curiosity in the same turn. So it might actually be a touch better is to just take this town ain't big enough and feed them our Enduring Curiosity after we draw 2 with it. The other play is to like ninjutsu in Kaito, but that's brutal. If we ninjutsu in Kaito, they'll like, what can they do here? They Eddy Mert Crab our blockers, attack. No, yeah, we don't do that. We're going to go combat, attack for 2, and then pass through blockers. And then before damage, we'll play Enduring Curiosity. Now they're going to Terror Asunder it on their turn, but we will have already gotten a rebate of 2 cards. All right, draw 2, 1, Ghost Vacuum. It's way too late for you to be good, huh? Sheoldred is one of our outs to this situation. They opt, sure. Of course, it's a shame that Sheoldred came after we established our Enduring Curiosity and our opponent can tear asunder the Enduring Curiosity, which they are 100% supposed to do. If they don't, my jaw is going to like hit the floor. Okay, cool. That's the first thing they do. They get that out of the way. They can't just have that in play, which makes sense to me. Then they're going to unsummon Deep-Cavern Bat. Man, they are drawing so hot. That's tough for us. Now we've got some plays here. Unfortunately, this town ain't big enough is going to be really rude to our Sheoldred. However, they keep bouncing our Deep-Cavern Bat, so we can reestablish the bat and then Sheoldred. All right, they passed to us. Floodpits Drowner is fine. Let's establish bat now. See what you got. 2 Eddie crabs. Come on, opponent. You're only allowed to get so lucky. They can't crab us right now. They have a bottleneck on blue mana. That's really important. We're going to take this town ain't big enough. Okay, and I'm right about that, yeah? Yeah, they cannot crab us right now. Okay, this is huge. Now we just jam Sheoldred, and then we go to combat. We're actually going to hold 2 of our dudes back. Yeah, we're not even interested in attacking because they're going to crab us. Well, if they crab us, can they crab us twice? They do have enough blue mana to crab us twice. If they crab us twice, they can still only attack for 5. So what does our combat math look like if we get busy? If we attack them for 1 and bring them to 18, they go to 16 when they draw off the Sheoldred, then 14 for the first crab, 12 for the second crab. We get the chance to attack them for 2 again, they go to 10. Then they draw for turn, which is 8. So yeah, that's so far away that attacking here, I'm not a good enough player to mentally understand that how many turns away it might change it. Like maybe we kill them a turn earlier if we attack for 2 here. But you know, I think I'm going to. Yeah, they're just going to crab us anyway. They're going to tap these creatures anyway. What am I talking about? Just attack for 2. I know your hand. You can't kill me right now. Of course, they probably just drew Bushwhack, which would be just so hilarious. All right, they just drew a land. I think we may have dug our way out of the situation because now if they want to start crabbing us, that's going to cost them life. There's the first crab. Draw a card, lose 2. The only way they can dig out of this is if their draws are very, very good. I don't even know what they would have to be to win here. Bring me to 2. Okay. Is it my turn? All right, yep, they pass. Floodpits comes into play. I draw my first card for the turn. So Sheoldred does Sheoldred's thing. That's a flyer. I'd like it to be out of my way, I think. Yeah, we'll go for the throat it now. Then we really need to think about this here because we've got 5 mana to work with, meaning that the maximum, we're going to ignore Ghost Vacuum. It doesn't matter. So we're just double spelling. And if we want Kaito to be part of that double spell, we have to ninjutsu the Kaito in, or the Kaito in. And they're probably going to Eddie crab us on combat, which is going to draw them a card. What do they tap? If they're really smart, they'll tap Spyglass Siren plus Fairy token. That way I can't ninjutsu and Kaito without taking the Deep-Cavern Bat out of play. I could, this is tough. All right, let's enter into combat. Let's see what they do. Let's see if they have an action for us. Okay, they're going to Eddie crab now. That's going to trigger up the Beanstalk. We'll let you draw a card. You go to 10. All right, Eddie resolves. What are you tapping? Sheoldred and Deep-Cavern Bat. This is okay, I think. Yeah. Then we go to attackers. Now, if they have another Deep-Cavern Bat, or not another Deep-Cavern Bat, if they have another Eddie crab, I think we're dead, right? Maybe not. You know what, let's just bide our time completely. I'm actually just going to hold up Faerie Mastermind and Floodpits Drowner. So we're actually not going to try to connect. No, we're just going to pass. Them casting spells is going to cost them life half the time, so. This town ain't big enough on Sheoldred and my token. Paying 5. You draw a card off up the Beanstalk. You lose a life. Okay, this is, you know, what I should have done there is Faerie Masterminded in response, huh? That would have been quite good. Although they haven't drawn for turn yet, so I probably still should. You know, let's go Floodpits Drowner now to tap down Eddie crab. And then what if they have 2 Bushwhack? Am I playing around 2 Bushwhack here? How many are in the bin? Just 1 Bushwhack's in the bin. The problem with casting my Faerie Mastermind now is if they have 2 Bushwhacks, they just go kill, attack for 2, and then I only have 1 blocker. We'll let this resolve. And they draw for turn. Okay. Another Eddie crab. Triggering up the Beanstalk. Sure. And this just straight up kills us, right? Yeah. Oh, that's so tough. Oh, you know, when I go back and edit this game, if I find a way I could have won, I'll make sure to put it in. Yeah, we definitely lose. I'll make sure to put in how we would have won this game in the edit, because trying to explain everything and then like also make a video while playing the game is sometimes a little bit more difficult than just playing. But we're 1-1, and that game actually was super interesting. I enjoyed it very much. Let's get into round 3. All right, we found our opponent. It's Kaito himself. Me on the play. Yay. Good opener, something aggressive. Almost perfect. This Restless Reef kind of gives me the ick. Also only 1 creature, but we're doing the mid-range thing, so we're going to keep this. You know, funny enough, there's like a world where we're not supposed to turn 1 Siren. As a matter of fact, I think we're just not supposed to turn 1 Siren. I don't want to play Underground River, Siren, then like map the Siren and play tapped Restless Reef. Especially not if my opponent like is playing like a mid-range mirror. So we're just going to go Restless Reef and pass. All right, tapped Temple of Triumph. What's going on here? What deck plays Temple of Triumph? You know, Elegant Parlor's legal in this format, right? All right, they scry to the bottom. That's the tech. They don't want to ever let me see what's in their deck. And if they played a Temple or a Surveil land, I would see what they put in the graveyard. That must be it. All right, now we're going to Spyglass Siren and safely map it. Tidebinder. It's cool. I'm pretty interested in my 4th land drop here. Is Tidebinder? No, I think we're just interested in our 4th land drop at some point here. We're going to put that down. After we see what our opponent's playing, there might be like a chance we were supposed to keep it, but I don't have enough information yet to know. Land, Ember. Okay, so you're playing red, and you're letting me make this trade. Okay, great. I'll take this trade. Maybe they might just not have enough rare wild cards. That's probably all this is. All right, we'll go land and pass. Faebloom Trick their attacker. Ninjutsu and Kaito hold down. I'm sure Screaming Nemesis is their play here. It's just a Heartfire hero. That's fine. The second Heartfire hero is just fine. We're passing to me. I'm going to Faebloom Trick. I would like you to tap. All right, they don't have Shard Mage's Rescue, which is great. Let's go to combat, get busy for 2, and then post blockers. Let's ninjutsu in this Kaito for this fairy. And then let's go to damage, beep bop. Here, there's a couple ways we could go about this. We know they didn't have the Shard Mage's Rescue. So we're actually going to cut down this untapped Heartfire hero. I'll take 1. And then, yeah, I'm actually fine if they just go Screaming Nemesis to attack my Kaito. Alternatively, I could just like 0 it and let them go all in on my Kaito. Yeah, let's just do that. If they want to kill my Kaito, I'll make them work harder for it. Sheoldred is fine here. Spell Stutter is not. Sure. Yeah, we'll take the Sheoldred. All right, go ahead, opponent. Land. Yeah, gonna kill this Kaito. Lithomantic Barrage in the main board. Let's go. Could be a Sheltered by Ghosts, which would be like just fine. I'll have nowhere to run. So Atali's Favor. That's an interesting one. Okay, you discover 3. What is it? Feather of Flight? Oh, we're going all in. I wonder if they use this to kill the Atali. Or Atali. My Kaito. They kind of have to, right? Otherwise, I just like stun it. Attack for 4. I have a dead Kaito. That's fine. So they're playing like the enchantments deck. The go tall instead of go wide version. Let's go ahead and... I don't know. They could have some type... Let's go to combat first. Attack for 1. Hiya. Bring it to 15. And then let's... It's kind of weird what I'm supposed to do here. I think I'm supposed to know where to run this thing. Like if they have some way to protect it, the nowhere to run's going to put it in cut down range, and then I'll still have my go for the throat. I feel really, maybe I wasn't supposed to keep that Sheoldred. I now feel really wigged out about tapping out for the Sheoldred. So I'm actually going to, you know, these are all, I'm actually going to pass. I'm not going to do anything on my main phase. I'm going to let them, I'm going to give them the opportunity to try to go taller and try to get some more value out of my removal spell. They're going taller. Feather of Flight with the triggers on the stack. Nowhere to run. They're going to Freed from Flesh. Free from Flesh. She gets +2/+2, then put 2 oil counters on it. They've got 1 white up. I think we just have to let this resolve. Then Nowhere to Run can resolve, which will shrink it. Now the problem is if I go cut down on the Heartfire hero, if they have any other spell, it's going to get out of range of the cut down. So I think now I just kind of have to go for the throat. Plus, since they're the go tall deck, I think that they're not playing like... They're probably not playing Screaming Nemesis. Okay, they went super tall. They got punished for it. Here's my Sheoldred. Attack for 1. Pass to you. I think this game's over now. You got something for my Shelly? Do you have Rebel Salvo in your main board, dude? They're passing? Okay, so this game is super duper over. I'll draw a card. Who cares what it is? Let's go Witchstalker's Frenzy, something I'm not super duper interested in playing into. That said, I don't have a choice. They've got enough mana to just cast it. So we are, instead of playing around Witchstalker's Frenzy, going to just go all in. If you want to kill something, fine, take 5. If you don't kill something, great, take 8. I'll mill you. Let's see what else is in your deck. Lambs plus, you are doing the Steam Path Charger. Okay, cool. Good knowledge. Go to 3, pass to you, go to 1. They should concede there's no combination of cards that kill me from here. Yeah, cool, game 2. All right, we're keeping it simple here. We're just gonna bring in our second Faebloom Trick. They're going so tall that tapping down a creature is actually gonna be a tempo play I'm interested in. I'm gonna bring in my Preacher of the Schism. We only have 1 on our board right now. You can go as high as 3 in the 75, I think. Right now, I haven't played against a ton of red on Arena in a while. It's been mostly like Domain and stuff. So I went way down on the Preachers. But if we start to see more red, you can just make that switch. Go lower on Tishana's Tidebinder, higher on Preacher. There's a lot of like versatility and modality to the building of this deck. Also, 1 Gix's command. On the play, we might want 2, but it's a 5-drop, so on the draw, it might be a little slow. We're going to cut our Gix. We're going to cut 1 Kaito, and then our last cut is, what was it? The Faerie Mastermind, because they don't really draw a bunch of cards. Just a quick 3 for 3. We probably want Duress as well on the play, but we are not on the play. All right, opponent, don't kill me too fast. My hand doesn't do anything until turn 3. Most blind games, I would keep a hand like this, but I know that my opponent will kill me if I try to keep that. This hand, it's scary. I'm not interacting at all. This might have to be a, if I keep this, what do we do? They go Creature, I go 1-drop. They like pump it twice, I go Deep-Cavern Bat, they kill me. We're going to 5, we do need the interaction. That'll do. This hand is full of interaction. We'll keep this 5. I think we just want to like ship Soulstone Sanctuary plus go for the throat maybe, because we want nowhere to run to stop their ward effects. and just like hope to draw our threats and stop their early game. That's what we're doing here. There's the red card. Well, it's a colorless card, but it looks red because it makes red mana. Hopefully they just play like a 1-drop that I can just like jam Underground River and cut it down. And then I can get into a cadence. Oh, they didn't play anything, which is even better. So I'll just go Underground River pass. They also might be doing that thing where they hold up mana. So when they play their 1-drop, they have a protection spell up so I can't remove it. Instead they concede. And I'm on a mulligan to 5. I think they kept, did they keep 7? They did. I don't know what was going on there. That's fine. We'll take a 2-1. Whatever. Let's get into round number 4. Unfortunately, that's kind of a thing about Arena. Even though it looks nicer, players are less invested. So people are more likely to just drop. That's why I play the events, because people drop out of the events way less. But still, sometimes people just don't want to play the game. And I'm okay with it, because I didn't want to play against tall red guys anyway. All right, round 4 time. Looks like we're on the draw, unless our opponent is absolutely insane. And we've got a great hand. We're going to keep this. Nothing really to say. Our mana just works. The Restless Reef is a bit of a shame, but we don't have a 1-drop creature, so we're super happy to just put it into play tapped on turn 1. And then we've got a mix of creatures and removal, which is the entire deck. All right, they play a tap land. Looks like it might be the mirror match. I'll just drop this Darkslick Shores and we're going to be big chillin'. They go Soulstone. This is a proper mirror match. I'm actually not going to extend here. I've got plenty of land drops. I would like them to move first. So we'll play Gloomlake Verge and pass. And if they go due to end step, I'll cut it down. Like I'm going to wait until I can like double or triple spell before I start extending threats into play. All right, they pass to me. I'm going to untap and draw because I have a secret trick. It's called Fountainport. If they continue to do nothing, I'm going to start using this Fountainport, and they can use resources to fight the Fountainport if they want to. It's not going to go very well for them, so whatever. Looks like they would like to pass to us. Yeah, if you want to take this moment to put Enduring Curiosity into play, be my guest. I'm going to activate Fountainport. I have a 1/1. What do we think about that? I'm tapped out here, so if my opponent has Enduring Curiosity, they're probably supposed to play it, since Spell Stutter and Phantom Interference is a big part of how these mirror matches play out. They just didn't, which is fine with me. I'll just play a Swamp and get busy for 1. This mirror match, especially on the draw, I tend to play it like a control mirror. And I just won't move for as long as possible. Now, they play their Enduring Curiosity now while I have mana up? Are you out of your mind? Yeah, dude, it resolves. It's dead. You can get the enchantment. I've got answers for every possible creature you could play. That was, this is what you're not supposed to do if you're my opponent. I didn't have the Spell Stutter there, but if I had Spell Stutter, our opponent actually would have lost the game on the spot. Now at least they have the Curiosity in play. Looks like they're just passing to us, and we still have this 1/1 in play. No reason to move. We've got more land drops to make, so let's play a land, go to combat, attack for 1, see if they want to wake up a man land, which is like super dangerous here. They don't, so we'll connect for 1. And then if I want to do Enduring Curiosity plus spell, I would need 6. So do I need to get my Spyglass Siren into play? I don't really need to. I think I will because I can sacrifice the map to the Fountainport, and this is a very low commitment play. It's a 1-drop, so whatever they want to do about it, I just let it happen. All right, Siren, go. They have a second Enduring Curiosity. What we will do is actually let it resolve. This is fine. We're going to let everything happen. We're just going to Floodpits Drowner that thing. Unless they have 3 steps ahead in their deck, my Drowner will just resolve. They would like to cut down, I would like to respond. I'd super duper like it if you couldn't attack with that Enduring Curiosity. Okay, get out of here. Do you have the main board Tidebinders? That would be great here. They have a Floodpits Drowner of their own. That resolves. What are you going to tap? My Floodpits Drowner? Phenomenal. That resolves too. All right, tap your Enduring Curiosity, please. And now my Spyglass Siren's dead. Now I'm set up to do some really cool stuff. I'll just let them go to their end step. Then I'm going to, let's say, flash in Faerie Mastermind now, because I also have an Enduring Curiosity. I'm going to spend all my mana here. I'll go Faerie Mastermind. They're probably going to kill it. That's exactly what they do. Then we're going to cut down their Floodpits Drowner. We're exchanging all of our resources in the mid game. Now I have set up a situation where I can comfortably cast Deep-Cavern Bat, take the best card out of their hand, which in this case happens to be Kaito, Bane of Nightmares. Do I care about another Enduring Curiosity? Not particularly. Yeah, no, we'll just take Kaito, Bane of Nightmares. And then we will cast our Enduring Curiosity and get busy. And now we will draw a card and we will pass the turn. They want to wake up the Soulstone Sanctuary and attack? Yeah, I will trade my Curiosity for a land. That's great. Why would you do that? Okay, here's my Sheoldred, probably the best card in this matchup pre-board. Go to combat, here's everything. I'm gonna draw 3 and gain 6. 1, 2, yeah, they concede. Okay. Yeah, they didn't play that particularly well. Let's go to sideboard. All right, here's what we did. I hate how messy this is to look at since it's not MTGO and you can't clearly separate. Like if there are 2 instances of a card, they're always stacked because we're playing with numbers. But we're bringing in both of our Gixis commands, our second Sheoldred, our first Preacher. Kind of weird in this matchup. It's just I do want a higher density of 3-drops in this matchup. I used to take Preacher out in this matchup, but now Preacher I think kind of plays into the mirror a little bit differently. I'm also going to play the Faebloom Trick just to kind of flood the board. I'm losing a Spyglass Siren. I don't want to have a ton of 1-drops. I want to react to my opponent more since they're on the play. I'm going to cut 1 cut down. I want most of them. I just don't want a billion of them because a lot of their creatures kind of ignore it. Not a lot, but like the ones I really want to get out of play, ignore cut down. And then we're going to trim around the edges. What else have we cut here? We've cut our Deep-Cavern Bats. We don't want any of those in our deck because they die super easily. And then we cut we wound up leaving our Tidebinder in. So it was just the Spyglass Siren. That's what we did. I think I'm gonna have to start like writing this down when I do this so I can maybe make an animation or something because it's so messy to go over sideboard stuff in Arena. You know, I'll probably just do it live. What I usually do is like I quietly do my sideboard plan, then I tell you what I did after when I'm doing an MTGO video. But here I might just like do it live and like talk about my thinking while I do it maybe. This hand is like scary. It's a 2-lander that if it never develops a 3rd land, we just die. We do have the cut down. We've got Kaito, which is one of the better cards in the matchup. Siren, I think we're going to keep this and just like plan to draw the land. And we'll see if our opponent made the mistake of bringing in Duresses in this matchup. Duress, typically not a great card in mid-range mirrors. They have their own Spyglass Siren, which we will just leave in play. I'm not going to... Okay, we drew our 3rd land. That's great. We're also not going to develop our Spyglass Siren just yet. We're just going to hang out. Tap land, sure. Go to combat, attack for 1. I take. If they go to map it, I'll cut it down. All right, they just passed, which is correct. You're not supposed to map there. Then we'll go Darkslick Shores. Don't really want a Floodpits Drowner. I'm just going to play my own Spyglass Siren. Especially good since their Gloomlake can't make black right now, so they can't cut mine down on my turn. We pass. Did they map? They map. Ooh, sign of weakness. No, stop. We can trade cut downs. We can just do like a trade across the board if you want to. But I'm not letting you get free value. Yep, cut down me, cut down you. Do you miss your land drop is the big question. They don't, which is great for them. We draw Tidebinder, which is fine here. We're just going to pass. We do have to move now. Since we don't have a 4th land, we have to like play a threat at their end step to try to get Kaito into play. Ooh, they play Kaito. That's so good for us. Okay, you're going to make the emblem. I'm going to Tidebinder the ability. Now you don't do anything. Okay, do we want to just attack the Kaito and hold up more things? I think so. We could get our Kaito into play, but that seems like it just dies to Kaito swinging back. So we're just going to go to combat, attack Kaito for 3, and then really we should have mapped first. We're definitely mapping. That was a mistake on my end because I can only cast 1 of these spells and I don't want this Floodpits Drowner. So now Kaito has an extra point of power I don't want it to, or an extra loyalty rather. But I do have this Floodpits Drowner. They were hovering over it like they were going to activate it or something. Okay, you can go for the throat my Tidebinder. I'm going to try to respond here. Do you have Spell Stutter or Phantom Interference? You have Spell Stutter. Okay, that didn't go the greatest for us, but it's okay because their Kaito is still down at 2. They make an emblem. They attack for 4. Sure, pass to me. I draw a land, not the one I wanted necessarily, but we're just going to chill out and pass. If they don't have any more removal, we could be in an okay spot here. They're going aggressive with their Kaito. They just say emblem, attack me for 5. Okay, I'm going to let you do that. I'm going to play Faerie Mastermind, and I will also draw a card. You draw, I draw. I on tap. That's a go for the throat. Let's go Darkslick Shores tapped. Let's... Kaitoing the Kaito still seems miserable. Although maybe at this point we kind of have to. I think we do just lose the game here, actually. Let's see here. All the things we can do lead to the same road. There are 2 Kaito emblems. So this is a 5/5. That's 5 power. That's 4. Nope, I'm not going to struggle. Our opponent got us. They had a very good opener on the play, and we struggled a little bit and we couldn't resolve our own Kaito. That said, the only thing we're going to change on the play is now we want our Spyglass Siren pretty actively, and I think I'm okay just losing this Tidebinder. As you saw, Tidebinder getting removed. Not super great in the matchup. One thing that they did do right there was they kind of like went all in on Kaito. That's usually where you want to be if you're playing this deck. Because you want to, like, if you let this game go long, there's a lot of maneuverability for your opponent to kind of wiggle their way out of stuff. This hand's not aggressive. I think that's okay. We're just going to play an interactive game. That's my favorite type of Magic anyway. All right, we're just going to lead on the river because we will cut down a Spyglass Siren. We want to cast our spells now because if we draw any 2-drop, we just want to start curving. Did you make the mistake of bringing Duress in this matchup? It's a mistake. Don't learn from opponent. Duress is like super bad here. In some games, you're like super stoked you brought it in. But over the course of 100 games, you're going to find that Duress, drawing it in the late game is just so bad. It like doesn't do anything. So we'll just play land and pass. And it's like not better than anything else in your deck. They're going to play a land and pass to us. I'm comfortable not playing Yuda yet because I have lands and spells. So I'll just play a land and pass back. All right, now I have to bite because I don't have a 4th land drop. So I need to get them to trade a resource with me. They Spell Stutter, which is totally good. That's fine with me. If they're going to use a Spell Stutter, that's how I want them to do it. No land drop, so we pass. If they make their 4th land drop, we start to lose percentage points really fast. Which they did. That's so bad for us. But we're gonna fight anyway. Here is a Yuda Faerie Mastermind. Do you have it? If you have it, you have to show it now, because my Spell Stutter is face up. And with this cut down, look what good Duressing my Kaito did for them. At this point in the game, that it would be better as any other card in their hand right here. All right, we're gonna play Siren, and we're gonna fight the urge to map the Siren even if it lives. If they kill it in response to the map, our opponent has no clue what's going on. All right, go for the throat now. They just used to go for the throat on that, which is like wrong. That was not a good play. Our opponent seems to be flooding out a little bit, which is okay with me. They cast Kaito with this Spell Stutter face up. They must have another one. All right, they pass to me. I draw untapped land, and they don't know about the Curiosity, so we're just gonna pass and try to get away with some sneaky shit here. They have land. They play another Kaito. There it is. They don't use it. Okay, I assume you're gonna... They don't use its ability. Are they playing around Tidebinder? Here's my Enduring Curiosity, which kills your Kaito now for no reason. Like, you could have just ticked it up and saved it. That didn't make any sense to me at all. Bop, attack your Kaito, kill it, play Spyglass Siren. Our opponent was in a good spot, and then they just, like, made bad plays. That was weird. Now we're gonna map. What's that top card? Anoint with Affliction? Nah, we don't want it. Again, what's this one hit? Sheoldred, we like that one. Pass to you, opponent, good luck. Land, yeah. Yep. Gix's command, make me sat Curiosity, return 2. Sure, what 2 are you going to return? Nothing? What mode did you pick? Opponent, what are you doing? Okay, whatever, I'm done thinking about it. Attack you for 3. Draw this card. Preacher, yeah, I'll play it. Go, yeah, concede. Our opponent, for everyone wondering, our opponent's hand was better than ours and they had the tools to win that game. But instead they decided to lose, which puts us at 3-1. So we'll just go into round 5. That was really weird. They played game 2, so it wasn't perfect, but they played game 2 like very competently. They seemed to know the plan. You kind of go all in on Kaito and make the game about me getting out from under the thumb of your aggression. And if I can, then we just go back to playing Magic instead of me being ahead or anything. And if I can't, I just lose the game to raw aggression. And that seemed so good. But games 1 and 2, they just like did not play very well. All right, we found our opponent. They're on the play. We have a bat and a go for the throat. That's not enough action. Our opponent did mulligan. But still, this isn't enough action, so we'll mulligan too. This is also a 2 spell hand, but this one has 4 power in the air. So we'll keep it, plus a Soulstone Sanctuary. So we'll keep it and pitch an island. Let's go. Lawnmower Wastes into an elf? Sure. Boo, that was supposed to be a cut down. This was supposed to be scripted. Please, oh, yeah, please don't play Glissa. It's a Glissa, stop playing Glissa. Please cut that out. Ooh, but I top deck the good card. All right, this deck usually doesn't play a way to pump stuff, so I'm just gonna know where to run on their turn. Yeah, you can declare attacks. All right, go away. No Glissa for you. Turn 2 Glissa is so good. We'll be playing some green-black soon. This deck is awesome. Green-black is a great choice. Unholy Annex, solid play from opponent. Makes me happy I have a Mastermind. We draw 3rd land. At least it's a good one. We'll pass turn. They head into combat? Sure. I'm taking 1, dude. I got nothing for you. Another elf is fine. We go into end step. Do you have the go for the throat or the fatal push? Not fatal push, cut down. Standard fatal push. Okay, trigger the annex. Better have the removal. Here's my Faerie Mastermind. They do have it. We're sticking here. So is it a cut down? We want it to be a go for the throat. We'd much prefer them use Anoint. I would have rather it been a go for the throat. All right, they go to 12. We have drawn a land every turn again. Very cool. Soulstone Sanctuary, pass turn. Land, make demon, I assume. All right, you've made a demon. We're going to tap it down with Faebloom Trick. All right, Faebloom Trick. I would like to draw Enduring Curiosity or Kaito, please. Or just like a straight up removal spell would be okay. Spell Stutter is not quite what we want. We don't keep playing this game. We're just going to get buried slowly. We drew land, and our opponent had a solid start. So let's sideboard, which I guess we're just going to do live for the sake of keeping it, keeping everything looking as clean as possible. We're not interested in Ghost Vacuum. I could see a world where we're interested in Ertai on the play. Some good tempo swings can come out of Ertai. Gix's Command, this is one of the matchups that card's actually for. Preacher of the Schism is not good. It doesn't line up well into cards like Glissa. Also, have you guys noticed this? Well, it's the last game, so I'm not going to restart. But sometimes like we get these glitchy whiteouts on Arena. I don't know what that's all about. If you know what that is, let me know in the comments, because I have not been able to find out why this happens sometimes. We don't want Malicious Eclipse. I don't think this is a Duress matchup either. Tishana's Tidebinder is phenomenal. Faebloom Trick is pretty good. Negate could be okay. It's going to be a question of how much do we have to take out. I'm going to trim 2 cutdowns. I'm on the play, so I want Spyglass Siren. Nowhere to run is like just not that great. It did take out the Glissa, but that was like anything but cut down would have taken out Glissa, so that's 6 to 1, half a dozen the other there. I like Faerie Mastermind. I like Floodpits Drowner. On this play, I like the Spell Stutter. I kind of want to get rid of like my Sheoldred. It's way too easy for our opponent to kill that card. I like Kaito. So now we're in a bottleneck of like, we have to start getting rid of some stuff that we're less excited to. I don't think it's Gix. On the draw, I might cut Gix. But on the play, I think we'll actually like back off on the Tishana's Tidebinders just a little bit. And then I think we also might back off on, you know what? No, we won't. We're going to keep those Tishana's Tidebinders. And we're also going to cut all of our Deep-Cavern Bats because it's too easy for them to remove them. So we might also want to just keep one more cut down. I haven't played with the version with bats in a while. Because the bats are like, for a while they were bad there, but now that the metagame shifted in a way, where like the bats have actually been pretty good for me recently. So at least for the next week or two, I'm imagining that you're going to want at least 3 Deep-Cavern Bat in your blue-black lists. This hand is great, no complaints. Well, there's one complaint. I kind of want to just put this Restless Reef into play, and I'd love to put a turn 1 Siren into play. But what we'll do is we'll play Restless Reef, and then ideally our opponent goes Lamor Elf, so we can go Spyglass Siren plus cut down. Then they do whatever on 2, then we play Gix and start to bury them. That's our plan. All right, we're in game 3. Our opponent is neglecting to say that they want to be on the player draw, which is kind of weird. Well, I guess no, they're just neglecting to like mulligan or not mulligan, which is fine. We'll put a Reef into play tapped and pass. That took so long. I think I already talked about my opening hand. They just took like a minute to stare at their hand, and they might do it again, which is now on the flip side. So this is something a lot of people don't like about Arena is unless you're in like the tip top of Mythic, which is a great place to be. It's very fun to play high Mythic on Arena because the players up there are all very good and the games are super interesting and fun. It's a great place to get better at the game, but you don't have to invest as heavily into Arena in a way. You definitely, Arena's ecosystem is awful. And if you are not very good at the game, it's very expensive to play Arena because you're basically paying for everything you get. And everything in Arena is pretty much marked up. A rare is like $3 always or whatever. But we have situations like this where your opponent will just like, I don't know if this person disconnected. They could just be roping me as a troll, but like they can only take it so far before they just drop from the game and I win, which I think might happen here. And if that happens, which it puts it a 4-1, I'm calling it because this matchup's actually really good for me. Okay, we 4-1 this league, great. But on Magic the Gathering Online, I've had to not publish some videos because once in a blue moon, you'll get an opponent who just times themselves out and you're just trapped there for most of the time they're doing that, which is lame. But this deck is sweet. Get this deck. A 4-1 is good for raw profit on Arena, which we love to see. And look forward to some paper gameplay content this week on the channel. It's going to be very cool. Look forward to some more Modern and check out the link in the description. Come check out the Twitch stream. I haven't streamed in a while, so there's going to be some growing pains, but I'm super pumped to stream. We're not doing daily yet. I'm thinking like 3 days a week to start, but we might move towards that direction. You know, it just depends. It's this year, depending on how things go, I might have to hire an editor or something. I do all the editing on this channel, and it's to be quite frank, it takes up a lot of time. So I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, I will see you next time.